I wanted to come on and talk about HG, hyperemesis. I can never say the full word. Hyperemesis gravidarum. Gravidarum. HG. You may all know about it. It's been in the press quite a bit over the last couple of years, probably starting from when the princess had it. So Prince William's wife Kate. She really suffered with what the press called morning sickness or severe morning sickness, and it slowly came out that she had HG and that she needed treatment several times in hospital and was treated throughout her pregnancy for it. And although people still describe it as morning sickness, it's now been pushing that it's HG, and the word spreading about what it is, and that it is a condition that is destroying, and it's debilitating, and it's difficult, and it's emotional, and it's life-threatening, and that is the short of it really. So I thought I'd come on and talk about it. I get annoyed when people call it morning sickness or pregnancy sickness, because believe me, it is not morning sickness, it is day and night sickness. It's not just feeling a little bit of nausea in the morning when you first wake up before you have your breakfast. It's completely different, and I'm not saying that any of that is bad, because it is still rough. With Alex, I had HG to start with. I got treated because I knew what it was after having Daisy, and then it's continued like morning sickness throughout my whole pregnancy. And it actually, well, it wasn't really morning sickness, in the middle of the night sickness. I'd feel okay, I'd feel a bit nauseous all day, and then it would hit about 3 o'clock in the morning and I would be sick. But I could eat, I could drink, I could live, I could look after Daisy. I'd have bad days, but on the whole I survived and it wasn't too bad. But it was because I got it treated early on, and I was aware of what it was, but also each pregnancy is different. So if you have HG with one pregnancy, it's not guaranteed that you're going to have it with your subsequent pregnancies. I knew what HG was when I was pregnant with Daisy, because I've seen family members really struggle. The sickness started really early. I knew I was pregnant probably from 4 weeks. So way before, quite a bit before I missed my first period, I was really sick, and I just knew that that was the start of it, that I was pregnant, and that's how it was going to go. It got worse and worse and worse, and at about 8 weeks it really peaked, and it was horrendous. I'm talking being sick probably between 20 and 30 times a day, feeling absolutely destroyed all day, just sitting in bed all day, trying to sip water, but the minute you sip water you're sick again. I was really sick, and it was day and night. It wasn't that I would be sick in the morning and then I'd slowly feel better again. I could eat lunch, tea. It was all day and all night. Luckily at 9 weeks I remember going to the doctors and saying, I know what it is, I know I can get treated, I need some help because I'm really struggling. And I really was. It was at the point where it actually makes you think, I don't want to be pregnant anymore. And I think for somebody to say that set out to try and have a baby, and also knows how precious pregnancy is, and knows they were really lucky enough to have a baby and to get pregnant in the first place, it's really hard. And you need to talk about these things, because I think it's okay to feel like that when you are that poorly. I was never hospitalised. I was close once or twice when my ketones started coming up, but I was lucky enough to be able to find a treatment that worked for me quickly. With some poor ladies, none of the medications work, and a couple of medications, so I can't remember what they're all called, cyclizine, stematol, there's one that begins with an M, oprazole I think, and there's different ones. There's tummy settler type ones, which they like to try you with, and then there's like antihistamine type. I'm not quite sure what HG is. I've read various different things, that it's an intolerance to the additional hormones that are racing around your body, which in my case I believe to be true, because I suffered much more with my little girl than my little boy. So with all the additional girl hormones, estrogen, whizzing around my body, I think it was an intolerance that my body didn't like it. Or placenta starts to kick in and start to take over the hormones of protecting your baby and feeding your baby. You do start to feel the relief loss. I did, and that's what they say to look out for. They say by, you know, 14, 15, 16 weeks, when the placenta is doing its thing, then you should start to feel better. And in my case, that definitely was right. I vomited with both physically all the way up to the day I had them, really, but by 25, 26 weeks it was like only in the mornings, or with Alex only in the night, and it would be once or twice, and then I could have my pill and get on with things. I think with HG there's no advice I can give to help you get through it except to go and get help. You don't have to suffer in silence. It's not normal in one respect. It's not easy, and just because you want that baby doesn't mean that you have to put up with it. There is help out there for most people. I feel when I see people really struggling with it, having been there and having seen family through it, it's not easy, and you do get branded with people saying take some ginger biscuits, or what's the other one, have a nibble on a cracker, or get up, that'll make you feel better, get up and about. Believe me, when you're in those first couple of weeks and I have no medication, there's none of that, because I can't be away from the toilet very far. It's not very easy, and if I'm not physically sick, then I'm feeling it. Talk about my experience, and to say, yeah, it's okay to get help. It's not anything to be ashamed of. Yeah, and it's not just sickness. You're not just expected to crack on with things.